Welcome to an overview of the Concerto estimating software. During this short video, the major components of the tool will be showcased. For in-depth details, visit the Introduction to Concerto portion of the ICS website. We are currently looking at the Concerto summary screen. This will be the screen that loads up at the start of every session. To navigate through this project, we can use the tabs at the top of this screen or the navigation tree here on the left-hand side. The current estimate has some area and system folders already created. To create an additional area and/or system, we have access to these buttons here. This area and system folder structure will remain visible so that we'll know which section of the bid we're working on at all times. The financial values will be displayed in the tabs: hours for office and field, expenses, materials in different categories, subcontracts, warranty, miscellaneous, and getting to your total direct cost. We add margin to that, and that's where we get your sell price. To properly calculate the costs, the estimate relies on your cost templates being up to date and accurate. To review the templates, click on this icon here. These 10 templates listed down the right-hand side contain, for instance, the hourly rates for your office and field personnel, the expenses and travel costs we use, how you apply overhead, and how we calculate your electrical and mechanical subcontracts. Each of these 10 templates are preset by your administrator, and you can create as many templates as you need. For instance, if you perform different types of work at different rates or in different locations, you can simply choose the corresponding template and you'll be confident that the rates being applied are correct. There's no limit to the amount of templates that you can pre-build. So let's go back to our estimate. To add another system to this job, we're going to have several choices. By clicking on the Navigate screen, you can choose to copy from a pre-existing library of systems. To search the library, we can click on the Library Search, indicate what type of system we're looking for, and as we do so, the list on the right-hand side gets shorter. If this was a longer list, we could drop down even further to describe exactly what type of system we're looking at. This is a short list for demonstration purposes, but the ICS library is fully available for you to use and customize. The default ICS library contains over 80 complete systems with labor values, material costs, schematic drawings, sequences of operation, point lists, and PDF submittal sheets. In addition to using your library to estimate, you can also open another job that was previously bid and copy and paste that into your new project. When necessary, you can also create a brand new system. To do so, choose an area and click on the Create a New System button. Here we can give it a name and then go over to the Data Entry screen. The bottom half of this screen will be your company-specific database for items that we sell and install. The top half, or top grid, is the list of parts that will make up this system. To populate a system, we use the filter and sort features available down here in all these drop-downs. But before we get into picking parts, let's talk about the labor calculation component of Concerto. As you know, labor is the aspect of your project which has the most risk. The labor component of your bid is where you will either turn a profit or be forced to book a loss and try to make it up on another job. After a quarter century of developing and improving upon the labor calculation engine, Concerto contains all the tools you'll need to get the labor portion of your estimate correct. Labor calculation is Concerto's greatest strength. So let's have a closer look at how your labor values will be calculated. There are several methods, one of which is to have the labor associated with each item in your database. As items are included in the systems list, the labor accumulates and the total system labor is displayed. This is the legacy method and works quite well. A new option is to reference a part to a code in what we call a labor reference table. This is a list of the type of labor parts that the business requires. The labor reference table makes it easy to understand the labor being applied in your estimates and easy to make your own modifications where necessary. The third labor option is to apply labor at the system level instead of or in combination with the per part method. In this case, a list of system labor types are available, and by selecting one, for instance VAV box in this case, the total hours for this system will be displayed. Once your standard labor is entered, you may want to adjust these factors based on the unique requirements of the job. And this can be done at the system level under System Adjustments, the area level under Area Adjustments, or at the project level under Project Adjustments. Refinements in hours or in percentages can be made. How about when there is a system which is repetitive? For instance, say this VAV box was typical of 25. As an estimator, you simply need to change the typical number of systems, and there is a built-in learning curve, also termed a repetition curve, which handles the fact that some labor tasks need only be done once per system, such as design or graphics, and also that when systems are done many times, there is a learning curve effect in the field which can be accounted for using a consistent and proven formula. As well, when your clients ask you for multiple quotes and alternates on pricing scenarios, you can use the active and inactive toggles. Here you can include or exclude any area or system for this job. This is a quick and very efficient way to accurately turn on or off, or include or exclude any component of the job, resubmit or re-enter your bid, and then come back and turn it back on again to recalculate your estimate. These are just some of the examples in the tool that can set you and your company apart on bid day. So now let's circle back to our data entry screen and discuss how to find and add specific parts to build our bill of material. We'll go back to our empty system. The grid here at the top, again, is the bill of material for this system. The bottom grid is the databases or parts that we'll use to actually put together our job. So for instance, to find a controller, we'll simply click on a category, choose the type of part we're looking for, and all of a sudden our database gets filtered down from hundreds of parts to just a couple dozen. If that's not a short enough list, we can go to a subcategory and say we're looking for a terminal unit controller. We now have 8 parts. We see the one we want, and we can drag and drop, or just click this up arrow to add it to the system. So at this point, as previously mentioned, if there is labor associated with this controller, it will also be added. The material cost is added based on a list and discount multiplier that has been entered. Let's reset the database, and we'll talk about another method of finding parts. Here we can use the search by application feature. So for instance, if we need a room sensor, we can filter down, look for a room temperature sensor, and the database quickly filters to the 6 matches to that application field. Perhaps we then sort on our net pricing, and we can add a part as quick as that. Notice how the application field, or what this part is being used for, is also populated when we enter this item. Hopefully by now you're realizing that finding, searching, and entering parts takes generally 1, 2, or 3 clicks before you've got exactly what you're looking for. There are many more filters that we haven't even used yet, such as searching by manufacturer, supplier, part number, order number, and even using a word search. So we've been looking through what we call the core database, which is a smaller, shorter list of what is usually used at your site. So what if a part isn't in this core database? And the core database is a list of the parts that we have generally used in the past or have been flagged by either sales or operations as the parts that are preferred. So what if the part that we're looking for is not available in the core database? Well, then we have access to what we call the general database or an industry database. This would contain all the parts from all the suppliers that you currently use, instead of just the favorite parts. Search method is the same, and we can add a part from that database just as easily. You can also simply just create a part on the fly if you need to. Just enter a part number, price, and include some labor if needed, and you're done. So we've covered essentially all the steps in creating your estimate. Create areas and systems, either from libraries, old jobs, or from scratch. Pick parts, make adjustments, and then repeat for each piece of equipment or system within the job. When all your systems and adjustments for the project are complete, it would be time to visit the sell price screen to review the final costs and set the sell price of the job. Once you're happy with the sell price, you can choose from any one of the 50 plus reports and exports that are available within the software. There are also export options to create proposals, export to Excel, create orders, export to booking or financial details, also exports for your job costing, administration, and accounting purposes. To get a personalized overview of this tool and how it can be customized to meet your specific needs, please contact ICS directly.